The Order of Nakhimov is a military decoration of the Russian Federation named in honor of Russian Admiral Pavel Nakhimov and bestowed to naval officers for outstanding military leadership. The order was established during World War II by decree of the Presidium of the Supreme Soviet of the USSR of March 3, 1944. Following the 1991 dissolution of the USSR, the Order of Nakhimov was retained unchanged by decision of the Supreme Soviet of the Russian Federation 2424-1 of March 2, 1992, but it was not awarded in this form. The all-encompassing decree of the President of the Russian Federation 1099 of September 7, 2010 that modernized and reorganized the entire Russian awards system away from its Soviet past amended the Order of Nakhimov to its present form, a ribbon-mounted single-class order. Soviet statute. From its establishment in 1944 until September 2010, the Order of Nakhimov was awarded in two classes to officers of the Navy for outstanding achievements in the development, implementation and prosecution of naval operations resulting in the successful repelling of an opponent's offensive or for active fleet operations that caused considerable damage to the enemy while conserving fleet assets. The Order of Nakhimov First Class was awarded to naval officers for cleverly planned and well-executed operations coordinated with all naval forces in defensive positions, which led to the destruction and harassment of numerically superior enemy naval forces. Excellent management, bold and decisive leadership of individual actions of units and formations of the fleet engaged in naval battle from coastal positions that led to the destruction of major enemy units, or caused it to fail to perform its tasks while maintaining the combat readiness of its units or installations. A well-planned and successfully prosecuted anti-amphibious operation which resulted in the enemy suffering great losses, lowering the combat effectiveness to the point of having to abandon the landing. Successful conduct of combat operations to ensure operation of the fleet at sea, the communication and defense of bases and coastlines. Well-organized and prosecuted naval operations protecting the flank of the Red Army's active operations and naval assaults of enemy-held coastlines. The Order of Nakhimov Second Class was awarded to naval officers for skilled and courageous action and personal leadership in the defense of lines of communication, bases and coastlines, which led to the destruction of large enemy forces successfully repelling the attack. Well-organized and successfully conducted demining operations off the enemy coast, which ensured fleet operations and led to the destruction of important enemy naval assets. Well-organized and successfully conducted mine-laying operations in enemy waters and near its coastlines, which assisted in the active operation of the fleet, displaying personal courage in the successful execution of combat missions which led to the destruction of enemy naval assets. Outstanding leadership of subordinates in battle that led to victory over a numerically superior enemy while maintaining combat effectiveness of naval assets. Skillful support of operations which resulted in a major military victory. The Order of Nakhimov First Class was worn on the right side of the chest and when in the presence of other orders of the USSR, located immediately after the Order of Kutuz of First Class. The Order Second Class was also worn on the right side and located immediately after the Order of Kutuz of Second Class. Soviet and pre-September 2010 award description. The Order of Nakhimov First Class was of multi-part construction, consisting of a gold 5-pointed star displaying radiant rays. The bottom arm point pointing straight down, a silver 5-pointed star with each arm ending in a naval sea anchor, its upper arm pointing straight up with the rays of the gold star protruding between its arms, a central gold medallion covered with dark enamel, and the gold left profile relief image of the bust of Admiral Nakhimov over 2 laurel branches. At the center of the medallion, above the admiral's head along the medallion's upper circumference, the inscription in gilt letters, Admiral Nakhimov. The hammer and sickle bisected the laurel branches on the central medallion. 5 triangular red rubies were affixed to the silver star, one on each arm pointing out from the central medallion's outer edge. On the reverse of the silver star, a threaded screw and a 33 mm in diameter nut arrangement for attachment to clothing. The maker's mark was located at the upper part of the gold star's reverse. The award serial number was hand-etched in the lower part. The Order of Nakhimov second class was of 2-part construction and made entirely of silver with red enamel in lieu of rubies. The only noticeable difference between the Soviet and early Russian Federation variants was the abrogation of the hammer and sickle from the latter. Soviet recipients. The Order First Class was awarded 82 times, including twice to naval units, such as the 1st Torpedo Boat Brigade of Sevastopol and the 1st Red Banner Torpedo Boat Brigade of the Baltic Fleet. The Order Second Class was awarded 469 times, including twice to naval units. The individuals listed below were awarded the Soviet variant of the Order of Nakhimov. First Class Admiral Nikolai Mikhailovich Kharlamov, Rear Admiral Ivan Isidorovich Nosenko, Admiral Stepan Grigorievich Kucherov, Admiral Philip Sergeyevich Oktyabsky, Admiral Arseny Grigorievich Golovko, Admiral Vladimir Filipovich Tributes, Admiral of the Fleet Ivan Matveyevich Kapitanes, Rear Admiral Ivan Dmitrievich Papanin, Admiral Nikolai Nikolaevich Amelko, Coast Guard Colonel General Ivan Vasilyevich Roga, Rear Admiral Alexander Petrovich Alexandrov, Vice Admiral Alexander Grigorovich Orlov, Admiral of the Fleet Simon Fyodorovich Zhavoronko, Admiral Vitaly Alexeyevich Fokin, Vice Admiral Ilya Danilovich Kuleshov. The individuals listed below were awarded the Soviet variant of the Order of Nakhimov Second Class. Admiral Vladimir Afanasievich Kasatonov, Admiral of the Fleet Nikolai Dmitrievich Sergeyev, Vice Admiral Grigory Ivanovich Kedrin, Captain First Grade Yaroslav Konstantinovich Ioseliani, Captain Third Grade Yuri Konstantinovich Klubanov, Captain of Naval Aviation Dmitry Mitrofanovich Tatarenko, Vice Admiral Mikhail Petrovich Avgustinovich, Major of Naval Aviation Alexander Ermolaevich Gurginadze, Rear Admiral Sergei Dmitrievich Zyazin, Rear Admiral Maxim Petrovich Skriganov, Lieutenant Colonel of Naval Aviation Nikolai Alexeyevich Musatov, Captain Lieutenant Athanasios Ivanovich Ivanikov, Rear Admiral Konstantin Konstantinovich Rodionov, Fleet Admiral Vladimir Afanasievich Kasatonov, Captain First Grade Nikolai Georgievich Tansky. Statute of the Modern Award. The Order of Nakhimov is awarded to officers of the Navy for success in planning and conducting naval operations of combat formations, which resulted in successfully repelling an enemy offensive by inflicting heavy losses, having skillfully organized and conducted the operations of naval combat formations in cooperation with other services of the armed forces of the Russian Federation, which resulted in the defeat of numerically superior enemy forces, having skillfully organized and conducted a counterattack which resulted in the defeat of an enemy amphibious assault success in leadership of landings, for the successful execution of combat missions, displaying personal courage leading to the defeat of units of the enemy fleet, for destroying enemy shore facilities, for the disruption of enemy communications. It may also be awarded to military units that participated in successful naval operations and to foreign citizens, soldiers of Allied forces from among the officers who took part alongside soldiers of the Russian Federation in organizing and conducting successful joint operations of Allied troops. The Order of Nakhimov is worn on the left side of the chest and when in the presence of other orders and medals of the Russian Federation, is located immediately after the Order of Kutuzov. Description of the modern award. The badge of the Order Nakhimov is a 40 mm wide blue enameled silver cross pate with a narrow raised edge superimposed over a four-pointed star, the ruby enameled rays of which protrude between the arms of the cross and end in the shape of naval sea anchors. In the center of the obverse, a blue enameled silver-bordered medallion bearing the left profile bust of Admiral Nakhimov over a laurel branches. Along the medallion's circumference over the image of the bust, the relief silver inscription Admiral Nakhimov. The medallion is surrounded by a silver chain. The Order Nakhimov is suspended to a standard Russian pentagonal mount by a ring through the suspension loop. The mount is covered by an overlapping 24 mm wide orange silk moire ribbon with 1 mm wide black edge stripes and a 4 mm wide central black stripe.